Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today we're going to talk about Match Me Abroad, Season 1, Episode 12. It's just that I'm terrified. Now, before I begin, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button, leave your comments so I know what you thought about the couples or singles, I should say, on this season of Match Me Abroad, and tell a friend that Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom does Match Me Abroad. I also do 90 Day Fiance, all the franchises, the tell-alls, and I also do Ready to Love. So let's get started. On this episode, we're going to see Mark, Stanika, Chad, and Michelle, and Harold. So let me pop up the picture of Match Me Abroad. Like I said, it's a brand new series, and it's on TLC on Monday nights. At the very top, you have Harold. In the middle is Stanika in the orangey dress, and on the right of that is Susan in the black dress. At the bottom in the blue dress is Katarína, the matchmaker, Nina in the middle, and Juan to the right. Now, the singles hire matchmakers because they aren't finding love on their own, and they're not finding love in America. So they hired a matchmaker abroad to broaden their horizons to see if someone would be their potential match. The singles and the matchmakers are out of Prague, Colombia, and Morocco. So let's pick back up with last week's episode. We have Mark. He's meeting with Nina. He's talking to her about what happened last week when he went on his date with Huda. He said that Huda gave him an ultimatum to, you know what, if you're going to continue on with this matchmaking process, then we can't be together, because Huda wanted to be exclusive. And Mark took his time thinking about it and decided to let Huda know the next day that, yeah, you know what, I think I'll go ahead and be exclusive. Now, Mark texted Huda, he called her, and he texted some more while he's waiting for her at a market at the meeting spot where they're supposed to meet up the next day. And no answer. Huda ghosted Mark. And part of the reason Huda ghosted Mark, and it was also brought up with Nina, the matchmaker, that because Mark was going to continue on going on dates that Nina, the matchmaker, set up, Huda didn't like that. She wanted to be exclusive. But the thing is that Huda already knew that Mark was with the matchmaker. And matter of fact, Huda was part of the matchmaking process too, because how else did Nina find her? So, and the goal is to go out on different dates. So I really thought it was a little bit wrong. And I also thought to myself, this is showing Huda's age too, because Huda is 24, Mark is 44. And it goes to show that maybe, when you have a little bit younger mindset, might not be as mature in the dating world, or just what happens when there's a matchmaker that you go on different dates. Almost like speed dating, to find out who it is that you might be matched with, to get upset and say, oh, we're going to be exclusive on date number 2. You can't just push out an ultimatum like that and expect someone to be like, yeah, okay. So that is the main issue. Well, Mark was disappointed, of course. And so when he did meet Nina, the matchmaker, the next day, he was telling her about being ghosted, and he, felt like maybe it was his fault because he didn't say jump, but I'm going to say jump, in my opinion. When Huda said, do you want to be exclusive? He said he had to think about it. And now that he wants to be, she's ghosting him. And so Nina says to Mark, well, you know what? It's not all the way your fault. I understand where Huda is coming from. She wants to be exclusive, but at the same time, she has to be aware of the matchmaking process. And that's what I was saying. I'm like, why would she be upset at this when she's part of this process as well? So, it kind of makes it seem like there's like a little bit more going on with Huda behind the scenes. That actually gave me a red flag. I'm not sure if it gave Mark a red flag. Well, it kind of did at first when she talked about it. But he some kind of way, brushed the red flag to the side as if it wasn't there. to be exclusive with somebody. But, you know, if you have to start your relationship like that, you may not necessarily be starting on the right foot. So Mark goes on to say that he's disappointed in not finding a match or love of his life. He's not disappointed in Nina the matchmaker, but just the fact that, you know, he can't say he found someone to be with. And on top of that, Mark is going back home to America. And Mark also says that in his dating life, you know, he had someone he was serious with before, but it didn't work out because he found out that the young lady was lying to him over and over, and he just got sick of it, and he doesn't deal with liars. And you know what? I don't blame him on that one. Because again, if you're not honest and truthful when you first meet and try to set up, you know, friendship to maybe possibly more, you have to be as honest as you can be, because that will always comes back to bite you in a way. It always comes back around, you know, when you don't do something right, dating world or anything else. So Mark, you know, he was very emotional about talking about not having a match to go home to, but Nina's encouraging him to, you know, stick it out. Don't give up on love, because, you know, everyone deserves love, and, you know, you're no different. So then Mark says, well, if I text you, would you be available for lunch? Nina said, for lunch? Like, for what? Lunch? Mark says, yeah, for lunch. So, you know, I think Mark was trying to low-key hit on Nina the matchmaker, but she shut that down. She goes, yeah, you know, I'm available for lunch to talk. Okay. Only if you pay for it. He goes, yeah, I'll pay for it. So again, Mark does have and it was even part of his package when he first saw who was on the show, that he is a reformed party boy. So he's 44. He's still looking for someone to be with, but he's describing like a sugar baby who's got a little something of her own, because Mark said he doesn't want to take care of someone going forward. So I don't know. Mark maybe needs to do a little soul searching. He's come across a little bit desperate, and he needs to take some time out for himself first to figure out what he wants truly so he can move forward. All right. So let's just jump into Stanika and Nordine. So when we pick back up with them, they're still at their romantic dinner, and Nordine is telling Stanika, you know what? I got my mom's approval. It's okay. We can go forward now. He said, do you like me? Do you want to be with me? Or do you not? That's the proposal I'm giving to you. And Stanika, she takes a little bit of a pause, and then she says, yeah, yes. She went from yeah to yes. Now, you know, Stanika, this is from her own words. She's from the South. She says she's loud, and you know what, a little bit she is, but that's just her personality. Nothing wrong with it, because she seems really fun. Stanika is happy that this is her first real official relationship. Now, Stanika did say when we first met her in the beginning of the season that she's never had a boyfriend. She's 34, late 30s, 34, 35, 36 in that age grade range. She's never had a boyfriend. She really made it seem like she's never dated before either. So this is her first official relationship. And okay. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to Nordine. Stanika says that she has never in a million years thought that her first real official boyfriend would be from around the world in Morocco. So they talk about the long distance aspect of it. She said, you know what, you need to come visit me. And, you know, will it be a challenge for you? And of course, it'll be a challenge for Nordine and Stanika. I mean, it's a long distance, yes, but it's a different type of long distance. It's truly on opposite ends of the world, but they're dedicated to making it work. And also, too, Nordine says to Stanika, he said, oh, I really would like to kiss you. And Stanika got this look in her eye. She's like, you do? She goes, I bet you want to do more than that. Nordine was like, what do you mean more than that? She goes, I bet that you can, be like a rabbit. I said, you already telling him what you think he could be about, in that department? Listen, in Morocco, it is forbidden to, kiss or have any type of affection in public. And to have that kind of conversation, I know Nordine, well, in my opinion, he was feeling a little uncomfortable, but he didn't deny it either. And honestly, can he really say if he has done anything like that? Because it is against the rules if you're not married. Okay. So, yes. Nordine said, he really wants to make it work, and, he wants to put it out there. He said, the private life is very important. And, I want to make it official, see where it goes. And, we need to get our alone time. And again, that's when Stanika goes like, like, I know you can put it down and all this other stuff. So she goes, I know I'm not going to be disappointed in that department. So maybe Nordine's energy, what Stanika's getting, she feels like, yeah, maybe he could be about something. Or maybe she sized him up, or, trying to, not maybe she sized him up. Clearly she sized him up and is trying to figure out how it might possibly be in the future. But then again, you never know. You never know. I just hope she's not disappointed. I'm sure she won't be, but you never know. And so the smiles, the gazing each other's eyes, the laughter, it does seem like Stanika and Nordine's relationship is genuine. It looks like it could possibly go somewhere. Yeah. So Stanika said the bar was set really high. And so Nordine has to keep coming with it. She's like, you can't just, what she was saying is you can't start from up here and then go backwards, because, I'm used to this and I want to maintain that way. So yeah. Also in confessional, right when they get up to leave, they're arm in arm. Stanika says that, true love, genuine love does exist for everybody. And also she said, Nordine is unavailable. Do not go sliding in his DMs. He is taken. I said, okay, girl. You already put it out there, like, don't go in his DMs. You got this. That's your man. All right. Okay, so let's move to Chad. Chad is on his second date with Maria. Maria and Chad met the first day that he made it to Colombia. Matchmaker Juan set that up for him. He wanted Chad to get out of his shell because Chad comes across like he's an introvert. He's shy to talk to women, and, he just, not good in settings with just him and a woman, like he would be better in group settings. But as the shows progress, I beg to differ because of what we know about Chad. Okay. Chad has been engaged 3 different times. So clearly he's not that much of an introvert. Well, anyways, he is back on a date with Maria. He said that originally he was back and forth between, Maria and Beba. So he got rid of Beba, not got rid of her, but it was like, no, I'd rather pursue Maria and go from there. So when they meet up at, I don't know where they met up, they're going to have an activity for the day. Chad says that he actually set it up, and they're doing something that he likes to do, something he says he does at home on the farm in Tennessee or just with his buddies. So when Maria gets there, he said, you know what, I have an activity set up and we're going to go 4-wheeling and playing in the mud because that's what I like to do. And I was like, you know what? I know Maria was like, okay, well, we're going to do this activity, but I kind of wish that maybe he would have gave me a little bit of a heads up to have me put on some clothes that was going to get muddy. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, she had on jeans and everything, but didn't look like it was clothes to get muddy in. Versus Chad, who normally dresses the way he dresses because he has the cowboy vibe. He's got on the jeans, the cowboy boots, the plaid shirt. That's his regular attire. That's his uniform. That's what he does like all the time. But, everyone else would have to be like, hey, you might want to wear something different. But anyways, they get on the 4-wheeler and Chad's having a good time. Maria seems like she's having a good time. So they get to wherever they get to on the ATV, their destination. They don't stop anywhere in particular. They just stop and just, to talk and get to know each other. And so Chad is asking Maria how she's liking things and just different little random questions. And then he asks her, do you want to go out this evening? You want to continue on the date? She says yes. So when they go to the ATVs to try to get back to, the beginning to drop off the ATVs and get ready for the evening time, Maria's ATV, or maybe Chad's, whichever one, has a flat tire. He's like, oh, I guess I got to ride with you. So that's what happens. They drop off the ATVs, and then when we see them again in the evening time, Chad is saying in confessional, he feels like the best chance he has is with Maria, and he's hoping that, when he talks to her and see where her mind is, he hopes it's on the same page as him, because he really wants to pursue her, and hopefully she'll come back to Tennessee. And if she doesn't come back to Tennessee, it's a deal breaker, because he feels like whoever he's dating, abroad, needs to be able to come back to the United States, because he can make more money at home than he can being over in Colombia or wherever else he may decide to go if this doesn't work out. Also, Chad realizes in his mind and gets the thoughts of Juan, the matchmaker, saying that he needs to move slower. And you know what? He does. He does, because he's been engaged 3 times in like 2 years or something. That's moving way too fast. But you know what Chad says? Chad says, I know Juan wants me to slow down, but why should I? I'm trying to get Maria to be in my life, so I got to put my foot on the gas to get what I want. So he said he is not going to listen. So when Maria and Chad get to the dinner, Chad gives Maria a watch, and we don't really see the watch. We can see like glimpses of it. And then Chad pulls it up on his phone and is showing Maria. And he said, yeah, see this? I got my mom the same watch, but only in red. So I'm thinking, so was it one of those watches, like you get around the holiday times or whatever, there's like a 2-pack of watches with bracelets and stuff like that. Was it one of those type watches? I really thought like maybe it would be, I'm not saying that it is, because I really don't know, but it's giving, that type of vibe. It's not giving you went to a jewelry store to get a nice watch to give to whoever you decide to give it to. And who knows, it could have been a watch that he gave to one of his previous engagees. All right. So knowing Chad. So as Maria enjoys the watch, she said, she thanks him for it. She said that in her confessional, she said that Chad is a really good person, but she doesn't know how far it's gonna go. So now Chad is asking her questions about, do you like me or not? Do you want to be with me? I'm like, you already came out the jump with, do you like me? Do you want to be with me? I understand the do you like me, but do you want to be with me? A little too fast, a little too forward. So again, he's not listening to Juan in his advice, talking about take it slow. So Maria says, well, I like you, but do I want to be with you? She said, it's going a little bit too fast. Like maybe we need to slow down. And Chad starts to get upset. He's like, well, what do you mean? She said, well, I have school here. And they also talked about the school thing a little bit on the activity. I have school. I'm still in school. I think she's trying to be either she said she's going to try to be a lawyer, or Chad said he was in law school and, he felt like it was a waste of time because he makes more money doing what he does now. I'm thinking, Chad, you was in law school? It doesn't give law school vibes with Chad. It really doesn't. Okay. He might have gone to law school, but I can't picture it because, yeah. Anyways, so moving on. Maria says she wants to feel the same, but again, she likes him. She's not into him like that right now, and she wants to finish her studies. So when Chad asked her, do you want to move to the United States? And when she said no again, because she wants to pursue things here with her life and what she's doing, she don't want to leave it. Chad gets up, gives her the two thumbs up. He goes, you know what? That's all that I needed to know. That's all that I needed to hear. And he walks off. And it's like, Chad, where are you going? She answered your question because you heard something you didn't necessarily want to hear. And she wasn't even done talking. You're going to walk off. So clearly, that's how he is normally. But Chad tries to justify that and says, you know what? He is in confessional. He says he's not here to play games. And, he don't have to put up with none of that because he put up with that in his previous relationships. And that's with the ships that he had 3 engagements in 2 years. And I'm like, okay, but you're in Colombia. You're asking a question as like, if she said yes to all, yes, I like you. Yes, I want to be with you. Yes, I want to come to the United States. He probably would like, pack your bags because I'm going home in the next day or two and you need to come with me or I'm going to apply for the visa. So he got really out of sorts. And I did not like that about his personality. Like I said, a little bit more and more each time that Chad has been on the show, his personality, and I'm just going to say his possible anger issues from past relations that didn't work out, he got his heart broken, has carried over into this relationship and will continue to until he gets a grip and maybe get some one-on-one therapy to figure out what is going on. That is just my opinion, but that's what it's giving. It gave a whole lot of aggression. Okay. So, so Chad, Maria's kind of looking at him like, I don't know what is even going on. So, all right, let's move to Michelle. Michelle is on her date with Pavel. They have finally figured out where they're going. They've been led to an activity. They would have on a masquerade. Like if you went to a masquerade, those masks, I don't know, maybe like theater mask or something, but it's still masquerade ball type thing. The date wasn't set up by Michelle, it was actually set up by Katarína. So when they walk, the matchmaker. So when they walk into the room after they got their mask on, it's a dining room. They're going to be there for dinner. There's roses, there's candles, there's whips, like for intimacy, and handcuffs for intimacy on the table as well. So she's like, oh, this is right up Michelle's alley. Michelle is just out there with everything. You know, she's out there with her personality. She's out there with who she is being a feminist. She's out there with what she wants and doesn't want in a man. And she's out there with her romance, her sexuality, the sex issue. Okay. So once they get in the room, she's mostly intrigued. Pavel is intrigued too, but not like Michelle. And then while they're looking around the room, who walks in? Katarína. That's why I said it was set up by the matchmaker, and Michelle didn't know, Pavel didn't know, and frankly, I didn't know either until she walked in. I'm thinking, what is she doing there? Now, in confessional, Katarína said she usually doesn't go out on dates with her matches, but in this instance, she wants to get things jump-started because she feels like Pavel and Michelle could be a good match. Now, as they sit down, Katarína is telling them what it is they're going to do. They're going to do an activity about what they like, their desires, and different things like that. So the first question is, where is it that they first had sex? Then she moved on to, is it something like, have you ever been vulnerable with someone? And I forgot the other question. But when the question about sex comes up, Michelle says she is glad that she can be around someone that she can talk about sex with. But at the same time, she says that she has not met anyone yet that matches her sex drive. She says she's got a high sex drive. So Michelle's been disappointed in that area. That, you know, she's trying to say that since she's sitting here talking about it with Katarína and Pavel seems to be into the conversation too, and Michelle is smiling. Yeah, she's hoping like maybe Pavel is the one to help her reach her sexual desires. Also, after that, Katarína excused herself so that Katrina and Pavel can come together in conversation and, frankly, keep the questions and the openness going. And it worked. Michelle is talking to Pavel, and you know what? It actually led to a question of, listen, I know that you're leaving to go back home tomorrow because Michelle, this is her last night in Prague. He goes, how about if I take you to the airport in the morning so we can spend a little bit more time together? Michelle says, oh, I would like that. And I said, okay, Pavel, take her to to the airport in the morning. Does that mean you want Michelle to spend the night? Did the whole conversations that y'all was having about intimacy spark up and this is where you are now? And so since that is going to be going on, when they didn't have any dinner or anything like that, when they left the date, he had his own Uber, Michelle had her own Uber, and what they said was, well, I guess I will see you tomorrow at the hotel picking me up. I was like, wait a minute, wait. I thought that was an offer to come maybe spend the night at the hotel with me, and then in the morning we would go to the airport to spend some time together. I thought maybe it was not quite a one-night stand, but a one-night stand, if you know what I mean. But no, they go in separate cars. And that was that. I was really confused at that conversation. All right, let's move to Harold and Michaela. So at the dinner, Harold is still having dinner with Michaela. Oh, sorry, my mouth got a little dry. Harold is nervous. Okay, he's nervous because Michaela, since she went back home, hadn't necessarily been talking to him or answering his text, and he's wondering why. So he said he was going to come to her town to visit her on her day off. So fast forward to here he is at the dinner time. So Harold said right now he's not going to pop the question because he dropped an engagement ring. But what he did ask Michaela is, will you be my girlfriend? And Michaela looked surprised. She looked at Harold. I thought she was going to say yes. But what she said was, no, Harold, it is too soon. I said, too soon? I thought they had the best date of them all, besides Stanika and Nordine, this whole entire time. But she said that she wanted to get to know Harold better. They've only been on 2 dates, and she thinks he's moving a little bit too fast. No, I have to agree with that. He is moving a little bit too fast, and it is only 2 dates. So, but I just thought that maybe she would, because she just seemed like she was as into Harold as he was into her. But she said, no, too soon. But see, Harold thinks that Michaela declining his offer is because maybe the language barrier, and he feels that maybe that things are different since she came back to her hometown. He said he felt like they really had a connection. But what he did say to Michaela was, I thought that maybe, not just because I'm going home, but maybe that because we both use a matchmaker and the matchmaker knows what we want, what we like, and what we don't like, that maybe things accelerate the process and, we're on the same page. But Michaela stood her ground. And then she turned to the food. She goes, ooh, this food is really good. She goes, I'm not used to eating this type of food. I'm just used to eating like eggs and a piece of bread for my dinner. And then Harold says, yeah, me too. I just have a regular lonely meal. It's just me eating. I'm like, Harold, I know your heart has been broken just slightly, but still hold on hope. There's still time, get to know her a little bit more, what she's wanting, and go from there. So then Harold says he was hoping to stay at Michaela's place to Michaela. Michaela said, oh, no. There's a hotel a few minutes from here. You can stay there. Okay, Michaela's like, you're not coming home with me. You can stay at this motel or hotel, whichever. And on top of that, where I live is a mess. You wouldn't be comfortable. All right. So Harold's like, okay, well, I guess we can do that. Then take me to the hotel. And then Michaela says, well, you know what? I have time in the morning. Maybe I can see you then. So then Harold perks back up. He goes, oh, yes, that'll be nice. So yeah. So we'll see how this works out. If Harold decides to the next morning when he sees her again to, say what he really has to say, because he's really conflicted right now because he was not expecting that from Michaela. Now, next week's episode, we're going to see Stanika and Nordine FaceTime each other. So apparently Stanika's back at home in the States and Nordine is still in Morocco. He says to Stanika, he said, I want to feel you. I want to touch you. I want to be close to you. I want to be next to my future wife. I said, okay, future wife. Even Stanika was like, future wife. Yes. Okay. Then we have Michelle. She's actually being driven to the airport by Pavel, who came to pick her up. And he asked Michelle if they can be a couple. I'm like, you just met her 24 hours ago. So we'll see what her answer is. But she turns and gives a smile. And then we have Harold meeting Michaela in the morning time. He actually shows her that ring that he brought and says he doesn't want to leave with regret. So we'll have to see if Michaela accepts the ring or not. But since she don't want to be the girlfriend, Who knows? You never know what she may say. Maybe she had a change of heart overnight. And then finally, we see Chad, after walking off from talking to Maria, he actually comes back to the table to finish hearing what Maria has to say. And then Chad says, why would I continue to want to be with you if I don't ever plan on coming to Colombia again? Why would I want to be with you anymore? So anyways, we're going to see that play out once again. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share. And until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.